February 2007, I was searching for footage that I needed to buy. I needed a footage of a cat on a green screen to use in a commercial for a client. Scoured the internet, and I couldn't find that footage, but what I did stumble across was microstock footage. From that happy accident of discovering microstock footage, I was able to launch a stock footage company that provided a steady income stream for my business with no clients, no deadlines, and no limitations on my creativity. That's what I'm going to talk about now. My name is Rob Crocker. I'm CEO of Funnelbox Video Marketing. I am the founder of Uberstock, and most importantly for this talk, I'm author of the book Stock Footage Millionaire. Back to the story. So after I stumbled across microstock footage, the first thing I did, I thought, what footage do I have laying around that I could possibly upload and see if this actually works? So I went back to some pro bono shoots I had done for some nonprofits, and I found some B-roll that was unused. And I uploaded some footage from the Oregon coast, and I uploaded some footage from a golf tournament that I had shot. After just a couple of weeks, there's only a couple dozen clips, but they started to sell. They started to make a little bit of money. So I thought, when we had a little bit of downtime, I decided, let's do a shoot specifically for stock and see if we can actually make this thing work. So what did I do? I went to the golf course. I'm a golfer. So I thought, I'll shoot some golf stock. It's pretty easy. It's just me swinging a club. I brought my brother to help me out. Uploaded that golf stock, about 30 clips, and literally within a couple weeks, that started to sell. And it's actually sold really well. What I discovered was that I had accidentally filled a niche in the microstock market that hadn't been filled yet. There wasn't a whole lot of golf footage. So what I did then is I thought, I wonder what other niches are still out there that haven't been filled. And I realized that it looked like there was some opportunity for lifestyle footage, specifically family lifestyle. So I called one of my family friends. They had 3 daughters, just gorgeous daughters, ages from like 10 to 5. We had them come to our house at magic hour, and I shot them for 2 hours walking around a field right next to our house. We shot them running. We shot them walking. We shot them playing. This is one of those shots. Now, keep in mind, this is pre-DSLR. So this was with an HVX 200. Anybody here own an HVX 200? Yeah. We got about 50 clips. We uploaded this footage, and literally within a week, it started selling like hotcakes. And I realized then that stock footage could be really, really good. How good? This is our entire portfolio, our entire earnings from April of 2007. You can see we made $49 that month. To a peak in January 2012, we made just under $40,000 that month. Now, since then, it's fluctuated a bit between roughly $20,000 and $35,000 a month in income. This is an income stream in addition to my production company, Funnelbox. So keep in mind, this is income, it's not profit. Because the income we make from this, we reinvest in stock, and that's how we keep it going. But it is nice. So how did we do it? I had a team. It took a lot of hard work. It took a great team. It took patience. It took a lot of persistence. And frankly, it took some luck, too. Now, for anybody who just heard Jason's pitch to start uploading via Premiere, which is super cool, you can do it, too. And how can you do it? It's going to be the same thing. Hard work, a great team, patience, persistence, and luck. So before I get everybody riled up, I want to manage some expectations. So I don't want anybody here to expect that you're going to start shooting stock, upload it, in 6 months you're going to have $30,000 a month in income. It's not going to happen. It does take persistence, determination, talent, and like I said, it does take a little bit of luck. That said, anyone here can make a good income stream from shooting and uploading stock. And just as importantly, you can have a lot of fun doing it. What I like best about stock footage is no clients. Clients can't tell us what to shoot, when to shoot, how to shoot. So it gives us creative freedom. And number 2, I really love that once we got a portfolio of footage up online and selling, it was just a nice, steady income stream. Now, I know especially for folks who are independent producers or independent DPs, if you get that source of income stream, you can take a month off and still have money coming in. Now, again, it's going to take work, but you can do that. So let's talk about finding success in stock footage. So success in this field is equal parts artistic talent as well as logical execution. So you can shoot the most beautiful, creative footage in the world with amazing talent at an amazing location, but if you don't upload it properly, you don't keyword it properly, and you don't market it properly, it's not going to sell at all. You're not going to make any money. Now, conversely, you can shoot technically the most perfect footage. You can upload it properly, keyword it perfectly, even market it perfectly, but if it's not content that people want, it's not in demand, and it doesn't have that creative flair that's different from other content, you're also not going to make much money. So what are the keys to success? Well, the first of 3 keys I'm going to talk about should come pretty easy to most of you folks who are either independent producers or work or own a production company, and that is shoot the footage that you would want to buy. It's as simple as that. Use the equipment you would want used for your own production. Light it the way you would want lit for your own productions. Use the talent you would want to use. Use the locations you would want to use. Color grade it the way you would want it color graded. For the most part, and this isn't always true, but for the most part, if it's good enough for you to use in your own production, it's going to be good enough to sell through stock. Now, the second key, and one that I feel probably is most important for individual success, is to develop your niche. So what do I mean by develop a niche? I mean, focus on producing great footage in a concentrated area that helps you to basically own that area, that subject matter. Be the producer of the best content in some well-defined area. So in Stock Footage Millionaire, I talk about a couple ways you can do this. The first way is to try and predict the future. And the second way is to take advantage and leverage your experience, talents, and or available resources. So first, let's talk about predicting the future. Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest hockey players to ever live, said he didn't skate to the puck, he skated to where the puck was going to be. And if you're in stock and you're thinking about the future and what's going to sell in the future, that's what you want to do. So you want to take a look at what's going on around you, be it regionally, nationally, globally, what's going on in the world. Take a look at visual trends, such as right now, lens flares are still hot, but who knows, 5 years from now, they may not be. Moving cameras are still hot. Drones are really cool. Will that continue in the next few years or not? I don't know. That's something that everybody's going to have to think about. But think about the visual trends. Watch TV commercials. Look at magazine ads. Look online, what's going on, and try and think of what's going to be needed in the future. Also thinking about trending news. So everything from healthcare to an aging population to terrorism to building giant walls along the border. I mean, think of all these things in the news and what's going on. Also think about lifestyle trends. So what's going on with lifestyles and how people are living. And think also about fashion trends. So what's going on with fashion? The footage we shot in the 2000s, a lot of the fashions are out of style, so that isn't selling anymore. What I want you to do when you think about predicting the future is to develop a hypothesis of the type of content and the footage that's going to be needed by mass media in the future, and then shoot and produce that content so you can fill that future niche. That'll put you ahead. A great example of this is the iPad. So when the first iPad came out, we actually were one of the early buyers of the iPad, and we shot all kinds of content with people using an iPad in different situations. This just happened to be one of our employees, Mike, on a bus with an iPad. This clip cost us almost nothing to shoot, and it made thousands of dollars. Now, if you were to go shoot a clip of somebody on an iPad on a bus, you probably wouldn't make any money because it's already been done, but it can be done, and this went into the trend because tablets now are a big deal. That said, sometimes trying to predict the future doesn't work, and you'll swing and miss. A great example of that for us was Google Glass. So we were one of the first ones to buy a Google Glass, and we thought we'd shoot all this footage of people using the Google Glass, of which I never see anybody using it anymore. So that was clearly a swing and a miss, and we wasted a bunch of money on that. All that to say, you know, if you're not confident in trying to predict the future, what you can do is use another route, and that is to leverage your resources. So resources can be any number of things that you have unique access to. Now, the most common are people, locations, or props and or equipment. A great example in the book, there's a guy by the name of John Neff. John was an X-ray technician at a medical clinic. By day, that was his full-time job, and by night, he was a stock footage producer. So what he did is he got permission from the clinic to actually shoot footage in the clinic. So he had access to these $1 million MRI machines and X-ray machines and all kinds of fun stuff. So he actually hired talent in the evenings and on the weekends, and he shot a bunch of footage in this clinic. Now, John was able to build a really nice portfolio of that footage that sold so well, as a matter of fact, that he was able to quit his full-time job as an X-ray tech and be a stock footage producer full-time, which he probably doesn't have access to the medical clinic anymore. But Another thing to think about is props or equipment. So for instance, if your uncle owns a construction company, he has bulldozers and excavators, shoot some excavation equipment. If your neighbor has a CNC machine, shoot some footage of the CNC machine in action. If you own a hovercraft, shoot some hovercraft footage. The way that we have done most well, though, in regards to resources is people. So specifically my family. This is my daughter, Kenna, my middle daughter, Kenna, about 4 years ago. We shot this footage in Hawaii with her. I shot a bunch with her and her sisters, as well as my wife, who you'll see here in a second. Now, this footage fits into the lifestyle family footage. It's sold very well. And that also plays into another important topic, which I want to talk about, which is perpetual niches. Perpetual niches are niches that are always in high demand for new content. So lifestyle footage, always in high demand. Healthcare footage, always in high demand. Energy, lifestyle, there's all kinds of different perpetual niches that you can, if you get good at and produce that content, you will do very, very well, because there's always a need for new content in those niches. Now, if you can find a perpetual niche that aligns with some available resources or expertise that you have, you can stand to do exceedingly well in stock footage if you focus on it and you stay persistent. Now, whichever route you decide to develop when developing your own niche, it's also important to make sure that you try and play to your strengths. So what do I mean by that? I mean, think about the experience or deep knowledge that you have in a subject that makes you an expert in that subject. What is it that you know that can help you to produce something that allows you to show your authentic self? So for instance, you might know how to weld. So shoot footage of fabrication. You might be a dog trainer. If you are, shoot dog footage. You might know how to fly fish or crochet. Whatever it is that you know and you have unique insight on, and you know what looks authentic and what's real, shoot that types of content. But because I will tell you, if the content is real and believable and authentic, it'll sell much, much better than stuff that's faked. The stuff that's faked, like if I was to try and shoot footage, say, of a cricket match, somebody who knew cricket would look at that and know that clearly I have no clue what I'm doing. I'd have no idea if they're even holding the bat right. So play to your strengths. Which brings us to our third key to success, and that is, before you start shooting, you always want to think about your end user. So who's going to actually buy the footage that you're going to be producing? Now, it's impossible to know before you shoot something who exactly is going to buy your footage. There's no doubt about it. But you can have a hypothesis. So think about, is the footage you're producing going to be used by an ad agency for a TV spot? Is it going to be used by a small business for a Facebook ad? Do you think it might be used by a Fortune 500 company for a corporate video, or maybe even a casino for a billboard, a digital sign? A great example of this for us is this Scion commercial.
It takes intense preparation, finesse, and precision to be crowned as the king in a unanimous decision. It bobs and it weaves around every corner. With its hit list of features, this car's a performer. So roll on to victory with the path of least resistance. The new 2014 Scion TC is made to go the distance.
So this spot, I didn't even know that that footage was used. That footage was me trying to look at the trend of MMA. I shot that in 2010 because I thought MMA was going to be an increasingly popular sport, and I wanted to shoot that. Now, the footage there, that guy, he was a professional MMA fighter. His name was Nathan. But they used the boxing footage, which was ironic because he's not a boxer. And if you are a boxer and you watched him, they cut it up pretty well, but you could tell he's not really a very good boxer. Regardless, I found out that this was used. I was sitting in a sports bar, and I literally saw a commercial come on, and there was our footage. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I don't know if the ad agency developed the treatment and the creative for this and then found our footage to use, or what I'd like to believe is that they were just surfing around, found our footage, and thought, hey, let's build a spot around this so we can save tens of thousands of dollars and not have to shoot it. I don't know what happened. But regardless, when I went out to shoot this footage, I shot the MMA footage and the boxing footage. I wanted to be highly stylized. I wanted it to have, high-key lighting. I wanted to have shallow depth of field and a handheld field. And because I thought I wanted it to be used in a commercial or like a show opener, something that was dramatic, and it was. Now, as a reminder, however, you don't always know where it's going to be purchased. And as a great example of that, look for the free-range chicken.
Cuban, Cajun, raw seafood, pizza parlor, French fondue, Tex-Mex froyo, tapas puck, Chinese takeout, taco truck, free-range chicken, pancake stack, baked Alaska, 5% cash back. Right now, get 5% cash back at restaurants. It pays to discover.
So those little chicks we did shoot, and I wanted to shoot chicks because I thought, local businesses would use it, maybe for Facebook ads, maybe churches would use it to promote Easter services. And so we shot chicks on a green screen, and as we were doing the post process, one of my producers thought it would be funny to put these chicks on a disco floor. When I saw it, I said, that's the stupidest thing ever. It's never going to sell. It's ridiculous. And I even bet. I said, look, if that sells once, I will buy you lunch. So 6 months later, saw this commercial on the TV, and I ended up buying her lunch. So again, the takeaway is you never know exactly where your footage is going to be used, but you should have a hypothesis because it will benefit you in the future. Along with that, put yourself in the shoes of an imaginary buyer before you start shooting. And as that imaginary buyer, let that imaginary buyer determine your casting, determine your locations, determine your lighting style, determine your shooting style, determine your color grade when you're at the end of the post-production process. It will make a difference in your sales if you think about who's actually going to want to buy this footage, all right? Which brings me to my final piece of advice is following herd, namely don't do it. Original thinkers in stock make money. When you produce something original, you will make money. I've seen it time and time again, and this used to happen earlier, like in 2007, 2008, when people used to be able to see publicly how many times a clip would sell. Another producer would come and say, wow, that's sold 1,000 times. I'm going to produce that clip, and I'm going to make a bunch of money. It doesn't work. It never works. It's harder to do now because you can't tell exactly how many clips have been sold, how many times. But there are still people who see footage that they really like and they think would be a good seller, and they try and copy it. I will tell you it doesn't work. What you should do, what does work, well, I'll just show you as an example. So in 2007, 2008, there was a producer who shot some time-lapse clouds, and they were pretty cool. This wasn't the exact one, but they shot some. They made a boatload of money. They made thousands of dollars on this stupid time-lapse cloud shot because they were the first one to do it. Before you know it, there are thousands of time-lapse clouds on there, and now nobody's making money. It just doesn't work. What I would encourage you to do is look at what's being shot, both from a video standpoint as well as a photography standpoint. Look at what you think is cool, what you think is working. Think about what it is about that footage that you really like, and then take that and put your own spin on it. Do something unique, because if you do unique, you will win. Be unique, be original, and have fun, which brings me to, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. A stock footage business is an investment. It's not a transaction. You don't shoot today and get paid tomorrow. It doesn't happen. It takes at a minimum weeks, sometimes months, and on occasion even years before you actually get paid for shooting stock footage. But I will tell you, it can be lucrative if you stick with it, if you have patience and determination. Now, this 20-minute presentation, I can't get into the logistics of uploading, keywording, et cetera, but all that really is pretty easy to find. You can visit the bulletin boards, you can read blogs on it, you can download the guides from the microstock agencies like Adobe Stock, and you can find out how to do the logistics of stock footage production. Now, and also to say, even though I wrote the book over 3 years ago now, there's still a lot of great information in Stock Footage Millionaire that talks about kind of the ideology behind how to shoot stock and how to make money. And it's not just from my experience, it's also from, more importantly, it's from producers who've done much more, much better than Uber Stock in selling footage. One of those folks happens to be right here, Daniel Hurst of Via Film. So if you really want to know how to do it, Daniel would be a good guy to talk to. But there are contributors out there making tens of thousands of dollars every month shooting stock footage. It's not easy. It does take the determination. You have to stick with it, but you can do it. Stock footage is a fast-growing, super exciting industry. And if you take the time to invest in yourself to learn how to do it, and/or invest in your company and your people to learn how to do it, you can absolutely have a lot of fun. And also turn stock footage into a reliable source of income for you and your business. Now, there are folks here from Adobe Stock. They're in the kiosk behind here. If you want to hunt them down and ask them more about the offering, ask them about the Premiere Pro integration. And aside from that, thanks for joining me, and enjoy your NAB.